You know, I've been thinking lately, I want to remake and remaster some of my older videos. Like, I actually did a little bit of work on that on my first ever episode of this series. You know, here's a little sort of transition that can show you what it looked like before and looked like after the remaster.
Well, yes, I know this is different for a lot of people that are good at the game, but if you are good at the game, I'm sure you have a lot of patience. Something of which I do not have.
You know, on second thought, I don't know if I actually want to do that. I'm just going to end up charging $70 for it, and you don't want that. Maybe you guys can do it for me. You guys can remaster my old videos. It'll almost be like fan-made remakes.
Remakes, remasters, re-releases, Warcraft 3 Reforged, ports, collections, shoots and ladders, they are all the rage. Or, you know, most of them. Some are cool, you know, the Resident Evil remakes, especially 4, FF7, Silent Hill 2, the Crash Insane Trilogy, DuckTales, and Live Alive, amongst others, are some of my personal favorites. But the thing is with those, either those are all remakes of beloved games, or they are real. Some games never get an official remake. Maybe it's because it's a bad game and the company wants to forget about it, or they're just allergic to remaking it. But that is where the fans come in.
I find fan-made video game remakes and remasters very interesting because there's just so many of them, but a lot of them get overlooked. Maybe it's someone who has a passion for a very specific game and they want to remake it themselves. But then you get some real noteworthy ones, you know? Maybe they fix a bad game, or they make the definitive experience for a certain older game, you know? Whatever the case may be, that's what we're looking at today. And there's a lot more than I can do in just one video. Like, there's an endless amount of fan-made video game remakes and remasters and whatnot. So if you guys want to see more, want to see me cover more in a future video, let me know. Or if there's a specific one you want me to cover, let me know. Or hell, if you're watching this and you have remade a game yourselves, send it my way. Anyways, without further ado, let's go play some fan-made remakes and remasters. But the title only says remakes. But it's any type of fan-made re-release, because don't worry about it. Just like how Nintendo shouldn't worry about the fact that I'm about to play AM2R.
You might as well get one of the more well-known examples out of the way first. AM2R, which stands for Another Metroid 2 Remake.
Another? Dog, this was before the 3DS remake. What do you mean another?
Is, as the title implies, a remake of Metroid 2. I will say, the presentation here is top-notch. Like, you can be convinced here that Nintendo actually made this game themselves. I mean, it is a fully-fledged Metroidvania. Obviously, it's in the name. But I mean, it's like a Metroidvania after the genre was established. The Metroid 2 came out before they established the Metroidvania genre. Fuck you. It looks really good, the sounds are nice, it has some nice remixes and motifs throughout. It's just a great remake of Metroid 2. However, Nintendo didn't like this as they struck it down. I guess in hindsight, they had their own remake of Metroid 2 that was gonna be announced, and they didn't want this out at the same time.
Anyone else ever realize how much of a fucking coincidence that is? A group of fans came together to remake the forgotten and less talked about Game Boy Metroid game as Nintendo were gearing up to announce a remake of that same game. Isn't that weird? I'm not going to spend too much time on AM2R because it's probably the most well-known game in this video. Or at least I would say that. That is part of the reason, but the other reason is I don't want to get caught by the Nintendo ninjas. But if AM2R is not the most well-known fan-made remake in this video, it's gotta be Black Mesa.
Black Mesa is an interesting one. It started off as a fan project, hence why it's in this video, and was a full-blown remake of the first Half-Life game, being done by Crowbar Collective. It was specifically remaking Half-Life through the Source game engine, and it was in development for a while before becoming a playable mod for the first Half-Life in like 2012, but then Valve looked at the game and officially endorsed it, allowing for a commercial release on Steam in 2020. So Black Mesa is a rare case of an official fan game, and it is obviously Half-Life but with a fresh coat of paint, but it looks really good. Crowbar Collective did a great job with this game. I mean, it still has
that.
But it's not as bad as the original. Now, I didn't get too far into this game, like at all. I decided to just mess around and piss off the NPCs at the very beginning of the game.
You think you can fix the vending machine too, college boy?
We will never hear the end of this.
You best make like a 9 on the split. Because that was,
Gordon, you've already
was
done
you know
enough
whose
damage here.
lunch.
Get to work.
I didn't play much of Black Mesa, like at all. I want to play the rest of it on my own. You know, there's an episode select, by the way, so if you really want to, you can play this game out of order. But yeah, no, really good fan game. And it's also really cool that it got an official release. So let's move on. For real now. Mega Man. I love Mega Man. But Capcom won't make a new Mega Man game. So goddammit, the fans will. And they did. With Mega Man Again. A remake of the first Mega Man game.
So before you even play this game, there is this disclaimer that says it's a fan game, and at the bottom it says, if you want to support Capcom in the creation of official Mega Man content, show your support by buying recent titles such as Mega Man 11.
Look, that's cool and all, but... And then what? I already bought Mega Man 11! And then what, Capcom?
So what's cool is we get an opening cutscene. Yeah, it's all flashy like a Mega Man game should be, and gives us the pre-established canon for Mega Man, like how Mega Man and all the Robot Masters came to be. It's pretty neat.
Come on, Mega Man. I can't fucking take you anywhere, dude.
Oh, that's interesting. This game has Time Man and Oil Man from the PSP Mega Man remake, Mega Man Powered Up. Nice touch. Oh, and that also says Copcam instead of Capcom.
Trying to avoid that classic C and D, I can tell. But don't worry, I got it right here. I won't give it to you. You know, I'll just put it aside.
And is that Chun-Li? Neat. Also, listen to this theme. They knew what they were doing. They know how good Mega Man music is. What the fuck? Why are there this many save slots? Who needs this much? So here is the stage select screen. Pretty neat. Player.
Let's check that out.
So you can play as Mega Man, Proto Man, Bass,
What?
Yeah, it looks like you can unlock playable Robot Masters when you beat them. That's cool. But that's enough beating around the bush. Let's play the game. We're gonna go Time Man because he's now an 8-bit. So this pretty much is a remake of the first Mega Man game, which is cool, because that first game hasn't aged too well, but it's got all the stuff that you would expect out of later Mega Man games, like the Mega Buster and the sliding ability. You know, abilities not in the first game, and Mega Man has those abilities here, which is really cool. I still do really like how you don't just get to play as Mega Man, you also get to play my boy Proto Man. You see, he's my favorite because he plays almost exactly like Mega Man, but this time he's red and has a shield.
No, really?
It's not just for a show though. While jumping, you can actually use Proto Man's shield to block projectiles, making him better than Mega Man. Also, I'm playing on Oil Man stage. Pretty neat. You also get to play as Bass. I don't really notice too much of a difference when playing Bass, but it's cool that we have the option.
But what's this? I'm playing on Cutman stage, a stage from the first game.
I will say it's more colorful and just aesthetically pleasing. I shouldn't pick on the original Mega Man game because it was the first one and sort of trying to find its footing, but Mega Man Again feels like the first Mega Man game was made after the later ones. That's what a remake is after all.
That's not the only Mega Man remake I have in this video, because I now bring you guys over to the Genesis.
I feel like in more recent years, one of the more popular Mega Man games and Sega Genesis games is Mega Man The Wily Wars. It's a compilation of the first 3 Mega Man games remade for the Sega Genesis, but had a weird release here in North America, until it was included in the Sega Genesis Mini, then re-released by Limited Run Games, then added to Nintendo Switch Online. But that brings up the question. The Wily Wars is a remake of the first 3 games, what about the next 3? Well, a group of fans formed a team called Team Sequel Wars.
Well, that just spoiled what the name is.
Effectively made a Sega Genesis ROM called Mega Man The Sequel Wars, where it's a remake of Mega Man 4, 5, and 6 in the style of the Wily Wars.
So now, it is time for me to play Mega Man The Sequel Wars.
So I will give them this. They got the UI down to a T. It's the exact same as Wily Wars, which is cool. We'll start, of course, with Mega Man 4. Oh shit, I have modifiers? I mean, selecting difficulty and character I guess is normal, but infinite lives, double jump, full arsenal? Gain all weapons from Mega Man 4, 5, and 6 and use them in any stage.
Now that's fucking broken.
So yeah, I'm pretty much playing Mega Man 4 on the Genesis, and it's pretty cool. It sounds really cool. Of course, Sega Genesis games have a very distinct sound to them, and I think this mixes well with Mega Man. And yeah, pretty neat. You don't just play as Mega Man though, you also get to play as Proto Man again. Pretty cool. He's my favorite, so I'm always excited to play him. And you also get to play as Roll in this game, which is neat. I feel like she doesn't get the spotlight too much, so being able to play as her is really cool.
Now Bass, you know, he gets shafted in this game. Of course, fuck him. But what's that? I was on Drill Man stage, Skull Man stage, and Toad Man stage? Those are all from Mega Man 4. But that's only 1/3 of this game. And you're right. So let's go play Mega Man 5, and then we'll play Mega Man 6 within this game, because that is the order that those games were released in. It's not ready?
So yeah, it turns out Mega Man The Sequel Wars is still in development, so all that's playable is Mega Man 4. 5 and 6 will be playable later on. That is kind of disappointing. I was expecting to play all 3 games in the style of the Wily Wars. What are you gonna do? Just give me the world's smallest violin already. So instead, I'm gonna play Mega Man 4 again, but this time with easy difficulty, infinite lives, full arsenal, double jump, burst chaser, infinite ammo, all while playing as this new character, Man.
Who the fuck is Man?
Oh, so this is Man. I mean, he ain't Mega, but he sure is a man. Actually, isn't he supposed to be a kid? I don't know what happened here, but Man is actually the fucking man. As I make it to the boss, Drill Man.
Oh, I get it. When I selected Man, oh, that just makes everybody just a head and legs.
I beat Drill Man and unlocked the Drill Bomb, but it didn't really matter because I already have a full arsenal, but thanks anyways.
So yeah, that's Mega Man The Sequel Wars. 1/3 of it. But hey, look, when Team Sequel Wars finishes the rest of the game, I'm sure it'll be great. But it's time to move on from one platform mascot that was blue to another.
Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel like with him, we'll be getting fan-made games until the end of time. But as for fan remakes, there's quite a few. A notable one that I couldn't do in this video is a fan patch for Sonic Freeriders that actually lets you use a controller for the game as opposed to being forced to use the Kinect, making the game actually playable.
What I'm going to show you is actually a fan PC port of Sonic Unleashed that made the rounds earlier this year, called Unleashed Recompiled.
Welcome to Unleashed Recompiled. You'll need an Xbox 360 copy of Sonic Unleashed in order to proceed with the installation.
Oh, well, give me a minute then.
Okay, so I've gotten all the files to install Unleashed Recompiled, and now I'm installing Unleashed Recompiled.
Sega.
Presented by Sega? No the fuck it's not, they didn't make this port!
So it still starts with the overly long cinematic cutscene to open the game, Werehog and all.
And then, nothing. I can't remember a thing past that.
Uh-oh. Did I fall on him?
He broke the fourth wall! He broke the fourth wall!
I will say, going off of the cutscenes, it looks really good. Then we get to play the first level, and again, it plays really well. It runs really well, it looks good. To be fair, this isn't necessarily a remake or even a remaster of Sonic Unleashed, it's just a port. I am essentially playing an Xbox 360 ROM, so this is the Xbox 360 version of Sonic Unleashed on the PC. But it still plays well. My thoughts on Sonic Unleashed, like, you know, default Sonic Unleashed is, it's not a bad game by any means. In fact, the sections where you play as regular Sonic are actually pretty fun. And then, you know, you do the Werehog sections where, you know, the game slows down significantly. Again, it's not that bad at all, but Sonic Unleashed flip-flops between a fast-paced, cool Sonic game and a slow 3D beat-em-up, and I had to put the game down.
Don't let that deter you from the fact, though, that this is a quality PC port of the 360 version of Sonic Unleashed, you know? But at the same time, if you played Sonic Unleashed, especially on the 360, you're not really experiencing anything new here. However, that brings me over to perhaps the most well-known fan-made Sonic remake. Sonic for the NES! Wait, no, that's a bootleg.
Although that game might not have been real, Sonic 06 is real. Oh god, it is real. The game that was made to usher in a new era for the Sonic franchise ended up killing it, at least for a little bit. In fact, although Sonic did not remain dead per se, what Sonic 06 did was sort of tarnish Sonic's image, and let's be real, almost 20 years later,
Jeez, it's been that long?
Sonic has still not fully recovered yet. Well, I guess he has in recent years. However, in 2019, a group of fans led by a programmer named Ian Morris created a remake of Sonic 06 for PC called Sonic P06 or Project 06 or fuck you.
So you know what I gotta do.
Disclaimer, this project is still under development, therefore it may contain bugs.
Thanks, Chaos X, giving the disclaimer that Sega wouldn't.
So we got this opening cutscene with Silver and Blaze, pretty cool, and then we get the title screen, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Is it Sonic the Hedgehog, or is it Sonic the Hedgehog? Or Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic the Hedgehog? Or Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic the Hedgehog. The world may never know.
Alright, so let's play the single player. Let's do episode select.
Alright. That's weird.
So, it looks like I can't actually do the story. I guess Chaos X hasn't finished that part yet. Guess we'll just do act trials. And somewhat similar to the original game, I get to choose between Sonic's story, Shadow's story, or Silver's story. We'll start with Sonic, cause, I mean, this is his game after all. What the? What, but how, but this is, wait, but, oh my god, I can't believe it. But this, I'm looking at,
Why is this game good?
this is really fucking good. I mean, first off, it looks and runs really well. Like, really well. I forget I'm playing Sonic 06 at times. I feel like this is Sonic Adventure 3. Like, really, I did just say that. Not a glitch in sight. The load times are better as well. To be fair, they still do interrupt the gameplay, but it's not nearly as bad as before. But Sonic controls very well, and so does Tails. The camera controls are not too terrible. In fact, I don't know why I said it like that. They're not terrible at all. You also gotta love how long the results show on screen when clearing a level.
Nobody in their right mind would have thought, man, you know what, I'm gonna remake Sonic 06, but make it good. You know, this was, like, I thought they would let it be, you know what I mean? But no, Chaos X and his team just decided, yeah, we're gonna remake Sonic 06 and make it really damn good. And that's commendable. They made it very good. Really fucking good. Extremely good. Like, people will play this game, will play Sonic 06, despite it being the laughingstock of the Sonic franchise for God knows how long. People are gonna play it for the first time, and they're not gonna know that the game was ever bad to begin with, which is crazy. That's absolutely astronomically insane to me. How long has the results been going on for?
Then we got Shadow. He plays pretty cool, rather similar to Sonic, but he can do a little more. Like, he can punch and kick in a flurry of attacks. During Shadow stage, you can also play as Rouge the Bat. She plays quite differently, as she can fly and climb up walls. Then we got Silver. He plays the most differently, as he can use telekinesis. And then you also get to play as Blaze. She can use fire and jump very high. Pretty cool.
It's crazy though that I just played a really good version of one of the worst games of all time. And I'm sure if I haven't already, I'm going to get requests to play Sonic 06, like Vanilla 06, you know. But for seeing what you just saw, I'd say you should take what you can get. So yeah, that is a very good remake of Sonic 06. But another group of fans remastered the Zelda CDI games as well. Oh boy.
I almost feel like the Zelda CDI games don't need an introduction. They are infamous. A rare example of Nintendo licensing out their IPs to third parties, and I mean, this is why they've never done it since.
Your Majesty, Ganon and his minions have seized the island of Koridai.
How can we help?
It is written, only Link can defeat Ganon.
Great! I'll grab my stuff!
There is no time. Your sword is enough.
How about a kiss? For luck?
You've got to be kidding.
This whole kerfuffle gave birth to 4 Nintendo games on the Philips CDI. Hotel Mario, Zelda's Adventure, and the 2 games relevant to today's video, Link the Faces of Evil, and Zelda Wanda Gamelon.
But despite these being, considered some of the worst games of all time, a group of fans took it upon themselves to remaster them and rework the controls, because controlling the game ain't that well either.
Also, before you ask about the Nintendo Ninjas, look, unlike with AM2R, I'm not at all concerned that they're gonna come after me for this. Because in order for them to come after me for playing this, that means Nintendo has to acknowledge that these games exist in the first place, and they ain't never doing that. So it starts with, of course, the usual CDI cutscenes that I can definitely, quote at this point.
Enough. My ship sails in the morning.
I wonder what's for dinner.
Oh boy!
I'm so hungry, I can eat an Octorok!
Now, unfortunately, I would play more, but, well, first of all, everyone and their mother has shat on these cutscenes. But secondly, they're not synced up very well with the audio, and that bothers the shit out of me.
Don't worry, Zelda. The Triforce of Wisdom promises the king will safely return.
So here I am, specifically playing Wanda Gamelon. Zelda Wanda Gamelon and Link the Faces of Evil are basically the same thing, except in one, you play as Link, and in the other, you play as Zelda. Years before Zelda got her own actual playable outing. But this one doesn't count. And I will say, this game controls really well. Sure, collecting items and such is still a little whack, and going through doors is still wonky, but this is definitely an improvement.
A low bar.
It's still, at its core, the Zelda CDI games. I'm still playing those games, just a better version. There's still some weird shit going on with the enemies and such. A bunch of them fly at you at once. Some of them take a few too many hits to kill, and getting game overs is the same. But at the same time, I can't be too mad at this game. It's done by fans. Maybe it's not the finished version of these games. I don't know that for sure. Don't quote me on that. And keep in mind, the core of what they were working with ain't strong to begin with. So, to make these games playable, I think is very commendable. I've mainly been playing Zelda Wanda Gamelon though, but there's also Link the Faces of Evil. Again, same game except you play as Link. Also, the opening cutscene is a little different, but it's still got the classic shitty stuff that the CDI games are known for.
Lap oil, rope,
bombs? You want it? It's yours, my friend. As long as you have enough rubies.
As long as you have enough rubies.
Never gets old.
I think what games like the CDI remasters or Sonic Project 06 have shown us, anything has potential. Just because a game is bad doesn't mean there is no world where the game could be good. Sonic 06 was seen as a game broken beyond repair. A game Sega wishes never existed. But the team over at Chaos X actually saw the makings of a good game and brought that vision to life. CDI Software, oh I get it, might not have necessarily seen too much potential in the Zelda CDI games, but they saw an opportunity to fix them. Dr. M64 and Milton Guasti saw a very forgettable entry in the Metroid franchise and remade it into a banger before Nintendo even could. Slingshot Mage saw how the first Mega Man game didn't age so well, especially when put up against the rest of the series, and remade it so it could be more like the rest of the series, and pack it with more content too. And the rest of the games seemed more like passion projects for already good games, to great games even. My point here being, Nintendo, if you're not gonna remake Geist, then goddammit I will.
Or I was going to, but, the Nintendo Ninjas got me.